guys, welcome back to Outsourcing Angel, and today I have a special guest who's our client. His name is Tom and he runs a LinkedIn content agency business, and I wanted to bring him on to just share his experience with our new service, Systemise and Scale Up. A goal for it is to help businesses to actually build a business to run without them. And so I'm curious, before you can, because sometimes people come for a VA only to realize, oh my God, I actually need to systemize my business first. So I'd love to hear from your experience. Like, did you come for a VA or did you come for something else?
Well, 100% I came for a VA, not really knowing what was involved in that process. So I opened up a conversation with a couple of people that work for Outsourcing Angels. And it became clear to me fairly quickly that we couldn't just drop a VA in my business the way it was. Because there was a lot of different systems and things that were only in my head and they weren't written down, and they were, and I was using 3-4 systems when I probably could have used one. And this is partly why I came to get a VA, because I realized that was an issue. It was more about just working out a system that they could work to as well. That I couldn't, if I dropped a VA in there, it wouldn't be fair on them and it wouldn't be fair on me. So just having that.
Gotcha. And that was why we decided to come up with this service, because for many years we were wondering, why is it that some businesses make VAs work and some don't? We could put in the best VA and yet there could be, chances of it not working. And we realized that every business is different. And sometimes people think a VA is like some superwoman that's going to come in and just save the day. And so what are some of the things that Richard had to do for you early on before the VA could come on?
Well, it was literally sitting down with me and going from start to finish and asking about, and it's great to have someone from the outside asking you what systems you've got in place, what processes and why, because you kind of just get used to it. And this
so
is
more of like, how are you currently doing your business really? It's not even like what systems you have. It's like, what are you even doing right
and why? Now? Why are you doing it that way? And is it? And often the answer is because we've always done it that way. And it's like, maybe it could be done better, in a very gentle way that he was able to ease me towards this solution. But that's the kind of thing, absolutely. And it was just like, having someone look at it from the outside and suggesting different ways of doing it, even in itself, is valuable, let alone then creating a role for someone and teaching someone how to help you with bits of that.
Okay, so can you be specific with one of the tasks or automation or something that he did that has changed the way you've done your process?
Yeah, well, there's probably a couple actually. One was Slack, which I was pretty much using email before. And I know Slack's, I was aware of Slack and I have used it, but I hadn't really set it up properly in my business, where you can just have that whole ease of communication and it doesn't get lost in an inbox full of hundreds of other emails and things like that. So that was one. The other one was one called Zapier. There's various things that we use in my business that when one thing happens, a new client signs up, they have to then book in for their interview for their LinkedIn profile, and then they have to be sent an invoice and all these things that I was doing individually. And 90% of it could be automated, which is fantastic.
Oh my God, I love that.
So it's that kind of stuff. And then working out where the VA fits in there and where they can contribute. So taking a lot of stress off me.
So even when it comes to Slack, it's like you've heard of it, but then having someone to sit with you and kind of help install it and help set it up made it all the difference and made you decide to use it.
100%. It's like I do help people with their LinkedIn profiles and people don't know where to start with that. I'm the same with a lot of these systems. You kind of haven't got time to sit down and do it yourself unless someone is helping you with it. So that was invaluable for me, was just to go, okay, well, what can work better? And stuff, some of them I'd heard of, some of them I hadn't, some of the systems, and making it all flow together really.
Yeah. And what surprised me was when I hired Richard, I didn't really know what he could help me with. He started telling me, hey, you should do it like this, I should do it like that. And I was like, so this is why I wanted to make these videos, because I'm always wondering, like, how do we actually help people when they don't know what help? They just know they're stuck in the business, right? Yeah. They know that there's something better, but they don't know how to ask for it, because this is why having that process where he nut out what you currently do and then help you come up with a better solution is kind of the only way, because it's like when he said to me, why are you doing it like this? You should automate it. I'm like, how do I know that there was a better way?
Yeah, so he did it for you as well.
Yes.
But one of the best things was he literally had a timeline as well. So it was like, at this point, we're going to get all the systems in place and all the processes. We're going to make sure it works for this point. And only at that point are we going to introduce the VA and they'll learn with us. They'll learn these systems as well. So it's not like I then have to teach them; they're learning alongside it. So it was the process of the process that was really important as well.
Gotcha. Yes. And so then when the VA got on board, what was like the experience like in terms of onboarding and what happens from there?
Yeah, I mean, that was it just so smooth. I could not imagine actually just hiring a VA and dropping them in the business, which I'd looked at those kind of solutions. They're out there. Looking back in it, I can't imagine that would have gone very well at all because it just wasn't set up to do it. And, I'm too busy to sit down there and train someone from start to finish. But because they learnt alongside me as we were both doing it, and Richard was setting up these systems and we've now got a virtual HQ, which then has little training videos and everything. So if anything slips by the wayside, it's always got this whole library of learning there as well.
Okay, so you're building up your own training module, so that if one VA goes for some reason, you've got someone else that can take over.
It's all. I mean, you'll have that whole you're not starting from scratch basically, which is fantastic.
Okay. So. Well, knowing what you know now, how would you describe what this service is to someone that might be curious?
I'd say it was invaluable, as in almost essential if you're thinking of getting a VA. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure Richard would look at the and go, actually, your system's okay. Or he may go, we can help you there. I'm sure there's a way of doing that. So I'd just say it was from start to finish. It was such a positive experience. To be honest, even if I hadn't got a VA, it would have been valuable in itself. Just the fact that it was someone looking at your systems and going, who knows what they're doing, and going, I know I can make that better.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tom, for being an awesome client and for sharing this experience with us.
No problem.